Live from Nike Center Court in downtown Spokane, this is the KXLY4's Hoopfest Tip-Off Special, brought to you by Toyota.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. We kick off Hoopfest 2011. I'm Robin Nance.
And I'm Derek Dice. We're live at Nike Center Court in downtown Spokane, the center of Hoopfest and the center of our broadcast operations. We bring you Hoopfest coverage throughout this exciting weekend.
Yeah, for the next 30 minutes, we are going to get you ready for the biggest 3-on-3 tournament on the planet.
And if you have been practicing, we can't really help you with that, but we can try to make things run smoothly off the court for this 22nd annual Hoopfest.
And this event really is all about the numbers. Gosh, the number of points you score, the number of teams that stand in your way of winning that championship t-shirt or even the loser king shirt. And the sheer numbers associated with the event itself are incredible.
Yeah, here's a quick stat sheet on Hoopfest. This year is the biggest Hoopfest ever. Approximately 27,500 players will take the court this weekend. 61 of those players have played in every Hoopfest since 1990.
And it takes 8 miles of tape to mark the 485 Hoopfest courts in downtown Spokane. This weekend, 14,000 games, just games are going to be played.
It's unbelievable. And of course, everybody wants to know, what's the weather going to be like this weekend?
You know, we may luck out, though. Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker is here. And at Center Court, Nike Center Court, there have been years that it reaches up to 100 degrees. What are we looking like this weekend?
Well, I tell you what, Hoopfest is usually all about staying cool. Here on Nike Center Court, it can get unbearably hot, especially for that Sunday night championship game. There's a lot of heat here. We've had thermometers reading well in excess of 100 degrees. That is not going to be the case this weekend. Basically, what you see is what you get. The weather we're having currently is what you can expect through the weekend. Temperatures in the 60s to around 70 degrees for highs. Now that's out at the airport. Right here on Nike Center Court, we're looking more like 80s. So it's going to be a much more comfortable weekend for the players with plenty of sunshine. You're still going to get those sunburns, so keep that in mind. The temperature has nothing to do with your risk of sunburn, but as far as getting overheated, your odds are looking pretty good, Derek and Robin.
Yeah, and it's going to be so much better for the people who are just coming to watch. The spectators are going to not be roasting.
Most definitely.
Yeah, that'll be great. Teams come from all over the country, and many have already started coming in this evening, checking in, getting their bags, and really making their strategy for the games.
Yep, KXLY4's Andy Bishop is live at Team Check-In with everything you need to know before you come on down here.
Well, certainly a lot of action happening off the court here at the team check-in. This is where teams, obviously, they check in, they get their packets, which has all the information for the weekend. They also get this pretty cool players t-shirt. They're going with black this year with the red lettering. Now, a couple things you need to know before you head down here. You don't need your whole team to check in, but whoever picks up your packet does have to show ID and has to be on your team. Now, if you don't pick up your packet during the designated times, you may not get your players' shirts and you could be disqualified. Now, you can check in until 8 o'clock tonight. Then tomorrow, check-in starts at 11 a.m. and runs until 7 p.m. Out-of-town teams who can't get down here before tomorrow night can check in Saturday between 8 a.m. and noon. Now, I know a lot of these volunteers have had a great time checking in teams. They're hearing a lot of stories about Hoopfest, also getting to hear some interesting Hoopfest names, which is always a fun story. Reporting live, Annie Bishop, KXLY4 HD News.
And Hoopfest began 22 years ago with a few guys who had an idea for a little basketball tournament. It started with, 2,000 teams hit downtown, 35 courts, and now that number has grown to 27,000 teams.
Yeah, the big reason behind that is this guy right behind me, Hoopfest director Rick Steltenpool. And Rick, talk about that, going from that to now 27,500 people approximately playing. This is the biggest one ever.
Biggest one ever. It's great to really see everybody come together and want to participate. You know, basketball is it's a great game. And I think the 3-on-3 game is the best of all because everybody is included. You know, we started this thing with just an idea 22 years ago.
Wow.
And it's just taken off. And every year it just gets better and better. And people must love it because they keep coming back in huge numbers. So
they do.
We just couldn't be happier.
How big can it get? How big will you allow it to get?
Well, we're asked that a lot.
Okay.
And, you know, our goal when we started it was if you get your entry in on time and you want to play, we're going to try to find you a court. And you know, the last few years we've been challenged because they want to come and they want to play. So that's our goal. If you want to play, we're going to find you a court, and we've done it for over 7,000 teams. So we're going to try to keep doing it as long as people want to come. But the crazy thing is where are they coming from?
Everywhere, everywhere.
Where aren't they coming from? And real quickly, can you tell us about Stealth Fest? This is the annual tournament you throw before Hoopfest.
Love it.
Well, Stealth Fest, we call that the world's smallest 3-on-3. So it's a small tournament. You know, I took a little sabbatical 7 years ago, so my friends tossed me a tournament, and we have 8 teams, and we just battle.
Awesome.
And
who won it?
This year, Andrew Sorensen, who used to play at GU,
Oh, yeah,
he
I
won
know
it with
that
a couple other friends, and my team lost 2 tough games, just like we always seem to.
Next year.
All right, well, good luck this weekend. It's going to be a great weekend.
Yeah, I love Hoopfest.
Yeah, so do
Best
we.
weekend of the whole year.
Thanks for being here.
Right,
Yeah,
thanks. Well,
thanks for having me.
A really cool new feature this year at Hoopfest is a way to track your team, your favorite team's progress without having to constantly check the bracket boards to see when they play again. You can sign up for the Hoopfest Mobile. The site will help you track a team or a player and find some of the best events of the weekend. And with 200,000 people in town, getting to your court on time, just navigating downtown could be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, there are 5 parking garages in downtown Spokane, though. The Bank of America parking garage is at Riverside and Howard. The River Park Square parking garage is on Spokane Falls Boulevard. The Parkade is at Main and Howard. The City Ramp Garage is at First and Stevens, and Diamond Parking, of course, has several lots for you around the city, so other options. If you want to avoid those parking fees and traffic altogether, STA can also help. You can park for free, then hop on the bus. It's just $1.50 all day long to take you anywhere you need to go. And shuttles run every 10 minutes Saturday and Sunday. You can ride either the Jefferson Loop or the River Point Loop. The Jefferson Loop parking is under the freeway off 3rd and Jefferson. The River Point Loop parking is just off Spokane Falls Boulevard in Hamilton. For more details, if you didn't get that because I went through it quickly, or driving directions for each spot, just visit our website. That, of course, is kxoy.com, and look under newsletters.
Exactly. Well, we are just getting things started here at our Hoopfest 2011 tip-off special. Coming up, you know, it was really the talk of Hoopfest last year, unfortunately, a shooting at the end of the first day of competition. Coming up, security to keep you safe this weekend.
And
we're here with former Zag standout Ronny Turioff. Is going to be very busy for Hoopfest this weekend. We'll catch up with the guy who's much taller than me when the KXLY4 Special Edition Hoopfest rolls on.
Welcome back to the KXLY4 Hoopfest Tip-Off Special. You are looking at KXLY broadcast cameras posted throughout Riverfront Park. We are proud to bring you official Hoopfest coverage again this year, and of course starting it all from Nike Center Court right here.
that's right. We've got a very special guest joining us now. Ben Kaplan is with former Gonzaga star and current New York Knick, Ronny Turioff. Ben?
Now, Ronny, you're going to be a very busy man this weekend in Spokane with your Heart to Heart Foundation.
Oh yeah, definitely. Tomorrow morning we're going to unveil a court that I've did with Hoopfest, a partnership at Corbin Park, and it's going to be 9:30, pretty early, but it's definitely going to be a fun event and fun festivities for the community.
And then tomorrow night as well, you also have another event going on.
Yeah, definitely. Tomorrow night with Providence Healthcare, my sponsor, we're definitely going to have a nice gala, and all the proceeds with all the ticket sales and all the auctioning, all the fun items that I got throughout the year, definitely going to go through my Heart to Heart Foundation. That's definitely trying to provide for others in need, the same way like I was in need when the Los Angeles Lakers stepped up to the plate, hit a home run by paying for my Heart to Heart surgery.
Yeah, how important is it for you to be involved in this?
It's vital to my happiness. It's always fun for me to give back to the community, especially for a community that uplifted me for so many years. Not only we counting the 4 years that I spent in college, but the 4 months that I was here to recover from my heart surgery, the whole community sent good vibrations. So I could not let them down. I had to go back, and now I'm back to give back to the community.
Now, your first time back in Spokane since earning your diploma last summer. How does it feel to be back?
It feels different to be back as a graduate, man. It's definitely fun. I'm looking forward to my weekend. So I want to start off my weekend, my festivities, by giving you a Ronny Turioff Heart to Heart t-shirt.
All right.
Here we go. So that's my festivity that's starting right now. Hopefully you'll be happy. You might have to do a little bit of weightlifting, though.
Calling me out. I appreciate that. Ronny, thank you so much. The event, The Night with Ronny, is tomorrow at 7 at the Lincoln Center. For more information on the Heart to Heart Foundation, go ahead and log on to Roni Turioff, 21.org. I'm going to get some weightlifting, I guess, tips from the big guy over here before the end of the show so I can fill this thing out for him next time when he comes back.
Good to see Roni back in town for sure.
Very cool.
All right, now despite the fact that there are so many people down here during Hoopfest weekend, it always has been a safe and family-friendly event.
However, a shooting last year has Spokane police evaluating how they're going to handle the crowds this year. Last year, crowds were starting to clear out on the Saturday evening of Hoopfest when a fight broke out and someone fired shots into the crowd near the Rotary Fountain. 2 young women were hit. An off-duty cop just happened to be in the area and followed the shooters until uniformed officers could catch up with them. The incident sparked some fear in people who worried they could be targets of random violence, but police say, don't worry.
It's important for everybody to know that we are going to have a show of force. You're going to see a uniformed police officer everywhere you turn around.
For security reasons, Spokane police declined to give specific details about how they plan to patrol the event this year, but said uniformed and undercover officers will be everywhere, which is good news.
Most definitely.
Still ahead, they are possibly the hardest working people of the Hoopfest weekend. Who are the court monitors?
We'll have that answered for you. Thanks for watching the 2011 Hoopfest Tip-Off Special. We'll be right back at Center Court after this quick timeout. Stick around. Welcome back to the Hoopfest Tip-Off Special here on KXLY4 HD. This year marks the 22nd year since a group of guys had an idea to start a little basketball tournament. It couldn't happen without the dedicated volunteers or the small staff that starts working on next year's event before the final buzzer even ends.
And KXLY4's Ben Kaplan is live with us again at Nike Center Court with a look at what has to happen for this event to tip off every year. Ben.
Yeah, guys, the Hoopfest staff credits the community with the success of this event, and it's truly a community effort in order to pull it all off. 40 city blocks, 458 courts, 7,000 teams, hundreds of thousands of fans and spectators. How does the Hoopfest staff handle it all?
The key is to be as efficient as possible and always finding new ways and more efficient ways to do what we do.
That makes sense. After 22 years, they have it down to a science.
I'm going to bracket the adult co-ed recreation.
Diane Sullivan has been here the entire time.
I haven't taped the streets, but I've done pretty much everything in the office.
Today, she's in the main office working on the hundreds of brackets 2 weeks before the event.
We're setting up the divisions, we're setting up the courts, we're getting the bracketing organized so that the people who determine where the teams are going to play, this has to be done first.
Sullivan is in one of multiple locations Hoopfest has, some temporary and with cool code names like Cucina Cucina, which used to be an old restaurant.
This is where the forklift lives, so this is where we get to move stuff around and build stuff and break stuff and do what we need to do.
This one is Hoop Storage, the biggest at 30,000 square feet, housing all the hoops and even center court.
Pressure's on now.
Don't worry, the volunteers actually get to leave, but right now they're busy helping roll 28,000 player shirts.
I'm humbled by the amount of volunteer support we have, and I mean, I get emotional about that because they're such great people.
3,000 of them help the full-time staff of just 6 people do everything from pick up the 28 tons of trash.
Oh, it's filthy. I always tell people make sure that you dress for the event, no flip-flops, and the $100 jeans are probably going to want to stay at home.
To laying out the more than 8 miles of tape needed to mark off the courts Friday night. Some can't get Hoopfest off their minds.
I've had nightmares that it's Friday and I forgot about Hoopfest. And in fact, a couple weeks ago I had one that the event was today and I had no volunteers.
Unlikely that could really happen because planning for the following year's event happens during the current one.
We're taking notes and planning for the next Hoopfest, and then we have a meeting right after the event. The week after Hoopfest, we have a critique meeting and we review our notes and start the planning process formally for the next Hoopfest.
It's all in an effort to improve the wow factor, because the numbers at Hoopfest are massive, but the true goal is to make it a joy for every individual.
I've heard numerous times if I had to choose between Christmas and Hoopfest, I would choose Hoopfest. That's what it is to people, and whether you're a player or a volunteer, it's so special, and it's the people that make it special.
And there's no rest for the weary. As soon as the Hoopfest staff is done with this event, they start planning the Los Angeles Hoopfest event, which is in August. But don't worry, Spokane Hoopfest fans, that event has nothing on this one. Less than 1,000 teams participate. Robin and Derek?
Spokane, LA. Let's see.
I like Hoopfest or Christmas. And
Yeah.
A lot of people thinking Hoopfest.
We know how to do it here, though, and we have a good time. There is so much more to come from Center Court here in downtown Spokane. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to our Hoopfest Special 2010, kicking things off before the big games actually even start. The toughest job of the entire weekend has to be the court monitors, those people willing to pick up a whistle, stand in the blazing sun all weekend long facing the tough crowds.
Not to mention sometimes take some grief from the parents as well. Those court monitors are definitely Hoopfest unsung heroes. They're trained to keep the games moving and make sure no fights break out on the courts with younger players. They do a little bit of coaching, too, to try to make the experience worthwhile for all the kids. More than 600 court monitors are needed to make sure all the courts are covered, just like the players. They train leading up to this weekend to make sure they're ready for anything that comes their way. They go away with a lot of pretty good swag as well, like Nike shoes and
brand
stuff.
new. Yeah, and I love how they also kind of look out for good sportsmanship, and they reward those kids who they see good sportsmanship from. My son's team walked away with gift certificates to Dairy Queen last year, so that was pretty cool.
Not bad. Hey, this weekend is not just a win for basketball teams, though. It's also a huge boost for the Spokane economy.
Yeah, more than half of the people who participate in Hoopfest are from outside Spokane County, and of course, they bring their wallets with them as well as their A game. It is one of the biggest weekends of the year for local hotels and restaurants.
The Convention and Visitors Bureau estimates Hoopfest fans take up 6,553 hotel rooms over the weekend. That's $1 million in lodging alone in the community. The CVB estimates people in town for Hoopfest will spend about $95 a day while they're here for an overall impact of $11 million. And that doesn't include people who come into town and stay with family and friends.
A lot of that money will be spent at the Spokane Hoopfest store, sponsored by Nike. In addition to the Hoopfest t-shirts and shorts, you can also get exclusive customized Hoopfest and Nike gear. The store is open during all the action right by the carousel. And we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Hoopfest Tip-Off Special. One tough thing for those of us who work here at KXLY is we always cover the event, but we don't often get to play.
But not this year. There is a big, exciting event. KXLY is holding our own company-wide Hoopfest tournament, which tips off live here at Center Court during our 6 o'clock newscast tomorrow evening. Some teams have been practicing for minutes, days, hours, I don't know. The first game is TV versus radio. Mike Gonzalez, Eric Loney, and the guys from Good Morning Northwest will take on the boys from the Jay and Kevin Show on 99.9 Coyote Country. The winner moves on to meet the young guys from our news production department, who might be kind of tough. Down in the other bracket, Sales team meets Derek's team of news and sports folks to see who moves on to the championship game. Games again start at 6 tomorrow right here in Center Court.
I've only played ever with one of my teammates on that team. You can get your Hoopfest fix all day and night at KXLY.com.
That's right. We'll see you tomorrow.